All right, Evergreen team, listen up. We're going to walk through the safe work practice for wall sawing. And look, this isn't just about ticking boxes. These are the practices, the mandatory stuff, that make sure we all do the job right and, most importantly, get home in one piece. So let's jump right in.
So, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll hit the big 3 hazards you got to watch out for. Then, we'll talk about who's responsible for what, knowing your role. After that, it's all about the gear, what you need to have. Then we get to the real meat of it, the rules of engagement. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple idea. Safety is always the final cut.
All right, first section, the big 3 hazards. And this is really about the why. Why do we even have this specific set of rules? Well, it's pretty simple. It's built to tackle the 3 biggest dangers that can pop up on any wall sawing job. And trust me, knowing what they are is half the battle.
So I want you to just take a second and think about it. You're on site, you're about to fire up that saw. What are the top 3 things that could go wrong? The things that can take a totally normal day and turn it sideways fast. Okay, here they are. Number 1, equipment failure. We're talking a busted blade guard, a frayed cord, anything. That stuff can fail spectacularly, and you don't want to be there when it does. Number 2, silica dust. This one's the silent killer, right? A long-term health risk we have to take seriously on every single cut. And number 3, the big one, hitting live utilities. Slicing into a live electrical line? That's an instant, potentially fatal problem. These 3 things, that's what we're focused on preventing. Okay, so we know the risks. Now let's talk about who's doing what. Because let's be real, safety isn't just one person's job. It's a team sport. It takes everybody working together. So this part is all about making sure everyone knows their role, crystal clear. And this really breaks it down, right? Supervisors, it's on you to make sure your crew knows what they're doing, that they're clued in on the specific hazards of the job, and that they have the right equipment, period. And for the workers on the crew, it's on you to be trained and competent, to keep your eyes open for hazards, to check your tools and PPE every time. And, this is huge, to report anything that's damaged or doesn't seem right. It's a partnership, plain and simple. Both sides have to hold up their end. Right. Section 3. The right gear. Look, you can't build a house with a screwdriver, and you can't do this job safely without the proper toolkit. This stuff is absolutely non-negotiable. So, let's go over exactly what you need to have with you before that saw even gets turned on. Now, obviously, you need the wall saw, but that's just the start. You've also got to have the slurry vac, the generator, the hydro press, the chain fall for making sure that concrete chunk goes where you want it to go. These aren't nice-to-haves, they are essential parts of doing the job safely and correctly.
And then there's all the support gear that makes everything else possible. And pay attention here. GFSI protected power cords. That is a must. We're mixing water and electricity all day long. You need that protection. Then you've got your water hose for dust suppression, proper bins for the slurry, radio so everyone's on the same page, and of course, all your tape, signs, and delineators to lock down your work zone.
Okay, let's talk about PPE. Think of it like this. All the planning and the equipment checks, that's like the fortress wall. But your PPE, that's your personal body armor. It is the absolute last thing standing between you and a serious injury. But it's useless if it's broken, and it's useless if it's in the truck. You gotta check it, and you gotta wear it every single time. So, let's be perfectly clear about what wearing it means. This is the mandatory list. A respirator, to keep that silica out of your lungs. Face and eye protection, because you never know what's gonna fly. Hearing protection, obviously. Good gloves for grip. Coveralls, and rubber boots, because that slurry is slick and nasty. There's no picking and choosing here. This is the full uniform. All right, now we get to the core of it, the rules of engagement. We know the dangers, we know who's responsible for what, we've got the right gear. So now, how do we actually do the job? This is the playbook, the absolute do's and the definite don'ts. I want you to burn these 6 steps into your brain. This is the process for every cut. Step 1, find and mark those utilities, before anything else. Step 2, plug into GFCI power, always. Step 3, get all your PPE on, all of it. Step 4, set up your control zone, keep people out who don't need to be there. Step 5, manage that slurry, don't let it build up. And step 6, if you need to make an adjustment, the machine is off and secured first. That's the workflow, every time. Okay, we covered what you have to do. Now let's talk about the hard stops, the absolute don'ts. And I mean that. There are no exceptions, no just this once.
These are the lines you do not cross. Rule number 1 is simple. Don't use broken gear. If the guard is busted, if a cord is taped together, if anything, and I mean anything, looks wrong with that saw, the job stops. It gets tagged out, you don't make it work. Period.
This one goes straight back to our big 3 hazards. You've marked the utilities? Great, but that's not enough. You do not start that saw until you have 100% confirmation that any live utilities in that area are locked out and tagged out. No guessing, no assuming. Confirmation.
This should be a no-brainer, but we have to say it. Don't stand where the concrete is going to fall. Simple as that. Gravity doesn't take a day off. You need to know where that piece is going and make absolutely sure you are not in the drop zone. Not for a second.
And a slurry, don't let it pile up. That stuff is a slip and fall waiting to happen, not to mention the chemical hazard. The key here is ongoing. This isn't something you clean up at the end of the day. It's something you are constantly managing while you work to keep your footing safe. Last one, and it's a big one for your long-term health. Don't eat, drink, or use tobacco anywhere near where you're cutting. That dust, the silica, it gets on everything. And the last thing you want to do is put it in your mouth with your lunch. The cutting area is a hot zone. Keep your food and drinks out of it. Okay, let's wrap this up. The key takeaway is this. The most important cut you make all day isn't the one in the wall. It's the decision you make over and over to do the job safely.
And this quote right here really says it all. A clean site is a safe site. That's managing your slurry. A checked tool is a safe tool. That's doing your inspections every time. And a prepared team is a safe team. That's every single one of us knowing our job and following these rules. That's what being part of the Evergreen team is all about.
So I'm going to leave you with one final thought, a question for you to take to your next job. The next time you're about to make a cut, before that blade even spins up, what's the very first safety check you are going to make? I want you to think about that, make it personal, and make it a habit. All right, that's it. Stay safe out there.